Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 9 and today we are going to present topic about capitalism. Before we move on, let me introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Zikry ADIB bin Muhammad SUHAIMI. My matric number is 2112197. First of all, we are going to discuss about concept of capitalism. Capitalism is an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. The main features of capitalism motive is only one, that is to make profit and to reduce losses. The purest form of capitalism is free market or laissez-faire capitalism. Here, private individuals are unrestrained. They may determine where to invest, what to produce or sell, and at which price to exchange goods and service. The laissez-faire marketplace operates without check or controls. For the next part, we're going to discuss briefly about history of capitalism. No one person can be said to have invented this system, capitalism. The origins of capitalism as an economic system can be placed in the 16th centuries by the growth of the English cloth industry during the 16th, 17th, and also 18th centuries. Modern capitalist theory is traditionally traced to the 18th century treatise. There is an inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nation by Scottish political economist Adam Smith. The industrialization of mass enterprise, such as the cloth industry, gave rise to a system in which accumulated capital was invested to increase productivity.
There are 7 characteristics of capitalism, which are capital accumulation, competitive markets, price system, private property, private right recognition, voluntary exchange, and wage labor. The first one is capital accumulation, also termed the accumulation of capital. The dynamic that motivates the pursuit of profit is capital accumulation, which involves the investment of money or any financial asset with the purpose of raising the asset's initial monetary worth as a financial return, whether in the form of profit, interest, royalties, interest, rent, or capital gains. The second one is competitive market. In economics, competition is a situation in which different economic enterprises compete for commodities that are constrained by adjusting the marketing mix aspect of price, product, promotion, and location. Competition, according to classical economic theory, drives commercial enterprise to develop new products, services, and technologies, giving consumers more choices and better products. The distinction between price and non-price based competition was the emphasis of early economic research, whereas the many-seller limit of general equilibrium has been the focus of current economic theory. The next one is price system. In economics, a price system is a method for determining the value of any type of property, which are tangible or intangible. As a result of scarcity, all cultures employ price system to allocate and exchange resources. After that, private property. Non-governmental legal entities' ownership of property is referred to as private property. Private property differs from public property, which is owned by the government, and communal or cooperative property, which is owned by a group of non-government organizations. The fifth is property rights recognition. From Abrahamic law to today's Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 17, property rights have evolved throughout the history. In economics, property rights are constructions that determine how a resource of economic item is utilized and owned. Okay, next, voluntary exchange. The act of buyers and sellers freely and willingly engaging in market transaction is known as a voluntary exchange. The last one is wage labor. Wage labor, often known as paid work, paid employment, and paid labor, is a socio-economic relationship in which a worker sells his or her labor power to an employer via a formal or informal employment contract.
My name is Muhammad RAFIQ bin Muhammad JAMAL. My matrix number 2117645. Now I will talk about the impact of the capitalism to the people and some of the ideologies that related to it. First of all, first impact is it had an enormous influence on the course of psychology and contributed new ways of thinking about mental health. It offered a new approach to understanding human behaviors and motivations, to developing new techniques and approaches to psychotherapy. The ideology that related to this impact is the humanistic capitalism. Humanistic capitalism is a philosophy that aims to bring together humanism, especially the concerns of people's safety and health, and market forces, and also a market-based economy. Other than that, the other impacts is promotes self-improvement. Employees have the opportunity to be hands-on because bosses are so hands-off. This leadership style fosters an environment that encourages personal and professional development. The ideology that related to this second impact is the laissez-faire capitalism. Free market capitalism or market capitalism are other terms for laissez-faire capitalism. Simply expressed, laissez-faire means that leave us alone, implying that the government should stay out of the economy and people should be allowed to manage their own finances. Now I will go through with the strength and shortcoming for the ideologies that I discussed before. First, I will discuss about the humanistic capitalism. The strength for the humanistic capitalism is the emphasizes individual choice and responsibility. Humanistic psychology satisfies most people's idea of what being humans means because it values personal ideals and self-fulfillment. And the shortcoming that related to the humanistic capitalism, which is its concept are too vague. Humanistic capitalism, it is a subjective ideas such as authentic and real experiences are difficult to objectify, which is an experience that is real for one individual may not be real for another person. Next, we move to the laissez-faire capitalism. The strength for this ideology, it is innovation. Laissez-faire capitalism, driven by the need to provide their products with market advantage. Companies are compelled to be more creative and innovative in their approach. The practice leads to technological advancement in addition to economic growth. For the shortcoming, for the disadvantages of this laissez-faire capitalism, which is the market are self-regulating. The markets are social institutions. It is the human actors in markets that require regulating.
This is the mind map for the topic that we discussed earlier, that is capitalism. The next one is a short video about capitalism. You can watch it by using this link. And the last part is for our reference. This is our reference for our presentation. Okay, that's all from us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum guys. Today, inshallah, we will discuss about capitalism. And who want to start first?
Okay, I will start first. So capitalism.
Okay, nice.
Okay, before we start to discuss further about capitalism, we need to know what it really means. Capitalism is an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. Okay, modern capitalist system usually include a market of oriented economy in which the production and pricing of goods as well as the income of individuals are dictated to a greater extent by market forces resulting from interaction between private business and individual than by central planning undertaken by a government or local. Okay, so for characteristic, Zuhimi, can you try?
Okay, thank you for your opinion. I think for the characteristic of the capitalism, there are seven characteristics, and one of the characteristic is capital accumulation, which means that motivates the pursuit of profit, and then competitive market, different economic enterprise compete for the commodities, and then for the price system, the determining the values of any type of property. For the private property, that is depending on one political viewpoint. And then for the property rights recognition, which is determine how a resource or economic item is utilized and owned. After that, voluntary exchange, which means willingly engaging in market transaction. And the last one for the characteristic is wage labor, which means the worker that mean the socio-economic relationship in the economy. And then I think that's all for the characteristic.
Okay, I want to add some information about the capitalism, which is the differentiation between the socialism and capitalism. The reason why I want to make the differentiation between these two theory, not the other theory, is because these two theory is related to the same sector of economy. So it is same sector, but it's a different way to organize the economy based on the theory. So what's the difference between these two theories? Okay, first of all, from the ownership of assets, capitalism means of production owned by private individual, while socialism, it's owned by government or cooperative. For the second differentiation between it is income equality. Income from capitalism is determined by free market process, while the socialism income equally distributed according to the need. Third, consumer prices. From capitalism, its prices determined by supply and demand, and the socialism prices set by the government. For the efficiency and innovation, the capitalism is a free market competition, encourages efficiency and innovation, while the socialism, government-owned businesses have less incentive for efficiency and innovation. For fifth, healthcare. Capitalism, healthcare provided by private sector. For the socialism, healthcare provided free or subsidies by the government. For the lastly, the taxation in the capitalism is a limited taxes based on the individual income, while the socialism high taxes necessary to pay for the public services. Okay, I think that's all about the differentiation between these two theory. Thank you.
Okay, that's all for today for our discussion. Thank you both of you to participate for our sharing session about capitalism. Uh, okay, see you next time for our next discussion. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you very much.
Salam. Thank you.